Has the professional relationship between Jimin and Jungkook now reached the brink of emotional crisis? What exactly happened between these two BTS members that triggered such an emotional response from Jimin, one never seen before? In a stunning and unexpected development from the world of K-pop, Jimin's reaction to Jungkook's recent behavior has raised major questions among ARMY and music industry observers. Not only due to the emotional bond built between them over more than a decade as BTS members, but because Jimin's response this time seems out of character, even shocking. Known as a calm and thoughtful figure, Jimin instead displayed expressions indicating surprise, disapproval, and disappointment over Jungkook's actions, which have yet to be fully explained to the public. The question is, what did Jungkook do to make Jimin react like that? Is this merely an internal misunderstanding or a sign of something much bigger happening within BTS? In a climate of uncertainty about the group's future post-military service, every individual action by a BTS member is now more than a personal matter. They are signals. And this time, the signal comes with a very high emotional charge. Internal sources close to HYB stated that Jimin appeared anxious and disappointed after receiving news of Jungkook's sudden decision to take an action outside team coordination. The exact action was not explicitly explained, but the source emphasized that this isn't the first time Jungkook has acted independently without first discussing it. Jimin's reaction became noteworthy because for the first time in years, he reportedly avoided direct communication with Jungkook after the incident. The issue became more complicated when a 16-second video leaked on social media, showing Jimin leaving a meeting at HYBE headquarters earlier than scheduled. Many associated the event as a direct response to what Jungkook had done. In the video, Jimin says nothing, only lowers his head and covers his face while exiting the room. This reaction, of course, immediately sparked speculation. Did Jimin feel betrayed? Or is this just a professional dynamic exaggerated by the public? The situation escalated further when Jungkook himself became highly active on social media days later, posting various content seemingly displaying calmness and freedom without addressing the growing speculation. Many interpreted Jungkook's attitude as indifference or even indirect defiance against the narrative beginning to form around him. Yet some fans suspect this was Jungkook's way of defending himself against increasing public pressure, especially after rumors surfaced that he planned to start a solo project without the consent of other members. Here, Jimin's position becomes very important. As one of the members who frequently demonstrates loyalty and diplomacy in every group decision, his visible emotional expression in this situation is an indication that Jungkook's actions may have crossed a line that should not be crossed. Some Korean pop culture analysts even stated that this could be a critical moment that determines the direction of internal communication within BTS during their transitional phase. It's still fresh in public memory when last year, in an interview with Rolling Stone, Jimin stated that he and Jungkook had an unshakable bond and often discussed important career decisions together. Therefore, such a change in behavior raises a big question. Is that bond starting to fracture? Or is there something even bigger that the public doesn't know? Korean media outlets like Dispatch and Sports Donga have tried to dig deeper into this issue, but there's been no official statement from either party. HYB has also chosen not to comment directly, merely stating that all BTS members have the right to express themselves independently during the group's hiatus. But this statement only invites further interpretation. Does independent expression suggest a disagreement about each member's future direction? One significant clue emerged when a former staff member from BTS's reality show production said there was a difference in approach between Jimin and Jungkook regarding their post-military future. Jungkook, according to the source, tends to want to move more aggressively into the global market as a soloist, while Jimin wants to ensure that such steps are taken collectively, or at least through a process of mutual discussion. This tension seems to have surfaced in Jimin's emotional reaction, which can no longer be hidden. He's not the type of person who easily shows discomfort in public, said a K-pop culture observer from Yonsei University. So when he does that, it can be assumed there's a very strong emotional pressure behind it. Does this mean the relationship between Jimin and Jungkook is truly deteriorating? Or is this just a temporary friction within the complex dynamics of the group? Many fans express support for both, hoping this is merely a misunderstanding that will soon be resolved. Yet many are also beginning to question the ideal narrative of harmony that has been publicly portrayed. The bigger question now is, how much impact does Jungkook's action have on BTS's overall emotional structure? And does Jimin's reaction indicate a turning point in the interpersonal relationships that have long seemed harmonious? While the public awaits clarification, one thing is certain: Jimin's reaction is not something to be ignored. When a professional figure like Jimin shows such a strong expression toward his own colleague, it is not merely a personal issue. It is a signal. And in an industry as massive as BTS, every signal carries consequences. In this context, we as readers and observers are also invited to ask, do we truly know everything that's happening behind the scenes in the lives of these idols? Or are we merely consumers of fragments of narratives intentionally crafted to shape reality into the version we want to believe? Now is the time to consider further. Was Jungkook's action truly deserving of such an emotional reaction? Or is Jimin's reaction actually a reflection of internal pressure he's been holding back? Are they really on diverging paths when it comes to their future? Or is this just one chapter in a long journey they are still walking through? And the most important question of all, do you believe Jimin's reaction is truly sincere and unplanned? Or could this be part of a larger media communication strategy? One thing is for sure, no one can truly predict what happens inside BTS's world. But every gesture, every action, and every reaction, like the one shown by Jimin recently, always carries implications that go far deeper than what appears on the surface. Do you believe this is a real crisis between two of K-pop's most influential icons today? Or is it just a dramatic shadow cast by the spotlight that shines too brightly?